Hello, everyone. Okay, this is the second part of our class. So we're going to continue to talk about modal verbs, okay? So let's move on here. This is my contact information. Don't forget to write down your questions, okay? So now we are part 2, modal verbs, should and have to. And we've seen this since level 2. So I don't think you're going to have any difficulty. So we are going to go to page 46 in our student book and just watch the video.
Modals. Unit 4, Lesson B. Should, shouldn't, have to, don't have to. Watch and listen. Should, shouldn't. Use should, shouldn't to give advice. Advisable, a good idea. Should,
Sarah should learn how to meditate.
not advisable, a bad idea. Shouldn't. She shouldn't get stressed out. Advisable. John should eat healthy meals. Not advisable.
He shouldn't forget to have lunch.
Advisable.
Alicia should relax at home.
Not advisable. She shouldn't spend all her money. Advisable. Lisa and Sam should get more exercise. Not advisable.
They shouldn't sit around all day.
Watch and listen. Have to, don't have to. Use have to, has to indicate it is necessary to do something. Use don't have to, doesn't have to indicate it is not necessary to do something. Necessary. Sarah has to take public transportation because she doesn't have a car. Not necessary.
She doesn't have to take her driving test today. She can take it next week.
Necessary.
Maggie and Joe have to put gas in the car. It's almost empty.
Not necessary. They don't have to rush to visit their friends. They've got a lot of time. Necessary. I have to drink a lot of water when I work in the garden. Not necessary. I don't have to wear heavy clothes when it's hot outside. Necessary. Anna has to write a big report. Not necessary.
She doesn't have to work late.
Check your understanding. Look at the first picture. Read the heading. Complete the first sentence. Look at the second picture. Read the heading. Complete the second sentence. Advisable. John should eat healthy meals. Not advisable.
He shouldn't forget to have lunch.
Listen to the sentences. Look at the first picture. Read the heading. Complete the first sentence. Look at the second picture. Read the heading. Complete the second sentence. Advisable.
Alicia should relax at home.
Not advisable. She shouldn't spend all her money. Listen to the sentences. Look at the first picture. Read the heading. Complete the first sentence. Look at the second picture. Read the heading. Complete the second sentence. Advisable. Lisa and Sam should get more exercise. Not advisable.
They shouldn't sit around all day.
Listen to the sentences. Look at the first picture. Read the heading. Complete the first sentence. Look at the second picture. Read the heading. Complete the second sentence. Necessary.
Maggie and Joe have to put gas in the car. It's almost empty.
Not necessary.
They don't have to rush to visit their friends. They've got a lot of time.
Listen to the sentences. Look at the first picture. Read the heading. Complete the first sentence. Look at the second picture. Read the heading. Complete the second sentence. Necessary.
I have to drink a lot of water when I work in the garden.
Not necessary.
I don't have to wear heavy clothes when it's hot outside.
Listen to the sentences. Look at the first picture. Read the heading. Complete the first sentence. Look at the second picture. Read the heading. Complete the second sentence. Necessary.
Anna has to write a big report.
Not necessary.
She doesn't have to work late.
Listen to the sentences. Let's review. Advisable is the same as good idea.
Sarah should learn how to meditate.
Not advisable is the same as bad idea.
She shouldn't get stressed out.
Necessary.
Sarah has to take public transportation because she doesn't have a car.
Not necessary.
She doesn't have to take her driving test today. She can take it next week.
Okay, so that was a kind of a long video, but I hope it was not overwhelming. Basically, what you have to understand is this. You're gonna use should to indicate a good idea. Okay, every time you want to express a good idea, use should. Okay, and use should not when you want to indicate a bad idea. For example, you should do your homework. This is advisable. This is a good idea. So you should do your homework. Now, when it's a bad idea, when something is not advisable, you use shouldn't. You shouldn't eat fatty foods. You shouldn't eat fatty foods because that's a bad idea, okay? Eating fatty foods is a bad idea, so you shouldn't eat. One important thing you have to remember is when you use should functions as a helper verb, okay? So don't forget about this, okay? So you don't need to use do, does, any other helper verb because should is already a helper verb, okay? So now when it comes to have to, this is the most important thing, okay? Have to, you're gonna use when you want to express the idea of something is necessary, okay? So when something is necessary, you're gonna use have to. You're gonna use the negative form of have to when something is not necessary or unnecessary. Then you use the negative form of not have to. For example, it's necessary to go to school. So look the example. You have to go to school. It's necessary. It's more than a good idea. It's necessary. And then something that it's not necessary, she doesn't have to pay for beverages. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary to pay for beverages. So she doesn't have to pay. Now, one important thing and I want you to remember is have to does not function as a helper verb. Okay, so when you have a question with have to, and when you have the negative form here, that's why you have this helper verb does. Why? Because have to in this case here, does not function as a helper verb. Okay, it's not a compound tense. So this is something you have to remember. It's necessary to remember. So you have to remember. Okay, questions? Now what I need you to do, it's let's practice a little bit. I want you to go to exercise 2A, and I need you to complete the story. You have to use should, shouldn't, have to, and don't have to according to what we learned today. Okay, I'm gonna give you some time, do the exercise, and then we're gonna do the correction together. Okay,
Page 46.
oops,
Exit.
just do the exercise, and then we're gonna do the correction together. Okay.
Pa-
Okay, I hope you have um, finished your exercise. I'm gonna play the recording so you can follow with your with in your own book and see if you got the answers correct. Okay.
Page 46. Exercise 2A.
Anna and Bill just got engaged, and they are planning to get married in 4 weeks. Because the wedding is so soon, they are feeling a lot of pressure. Anna's mother wants a big wedding, but Anna and Bill don't. Because they are paying for the wedding themselves, they believe they should do what they want. Another pressure is all the things Anna and Bill have to do before the wedding. For example, Anna has to buy a dress, choose her bridesmaids, and send out the invitations. Bill has to plan the reception and order the food. Most importantly, they have to decide where the wedding will be. Anna wants to get married outdoors, but Bill thinks they shouldn't plan an outdoor wedding because it might rain. Now Bill has a different idea. He realizes that they shouldn't get married so soon. Maybe they should postpone the wedding by a few months. That way, they don't have to feel so much pressure.
Okay, how was it? Easy or difficult? One important thing I want you to remember is this, okay? Ought to. Ought to is a common expression usually when um, people they speak English, and sometimes they tend to use this expression here, okay? It's in your page 47 in your book. Ought to is the same as should, okay? This is important for you to remember. So ought to, it means a good idea, the same as should, something that it's advisable. It'll express um, an opinion, a recommendation, an advice, a good idea, okay? Um, but you have to remember this. Only use ought to for affirmative sentences, okay? And look here that it's ought to. Why? Because right after ought to, you're gonna have a verb, okay? You're gonna have a verb. And let me show you this. An example, you should do your homework. Do your homework is a good idea. Should is a helper verb. That's why you have nothing here in the middle. Okay, you have nothing. You have no to, nothing, because this is supposed to be together. So these two verbs are together. So that's why you don't use any other helper verb when you change to negative or interrogative statement. But now look here. Ought to, do, ought to, it has a to here. Okay, so this is what you have to remember. Okay, but most of the times I've never seen people using ought to in a negative sentence or in an interrogative sentence. Okay, this is what I want you to remember. Questions? There are some exercises in your workbook, so I do urge you to do them maybe tomorrow when after you come back from work, after dinner, just as a way of reviewing the material. This is very important for you. So we have page 44, 45, okay. Do you have any questions? Okay, so let's take a break. And before we go to the last part of today's class, okay, let's go and take a break.